I brung Pedro home for Thanksgiving break, and tomorrow I have to bring him back to school. You're not supposed to say brung. You're supposed to say brought. But I like the way brung sounds, like you're cold and ringing a bell. Brung! Nobody can kick your ass for what you think in your mind. Not even your mom. Mine is stirring spaghetti sauce on the stove and shaking her head at me. "Get that rat out of my kitchen," she says. "Pedro's not a rat," I say. "He's a hamster." My mom doesn't budge. "Whatever he is, he's not staying in my kitchen. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, Jon. Take that thing outside now." She always calls it my kitchen, same way my dad calls the TV my TV and the puffy chair my chair. My only territory is my bedroom. I guess my shed, too, but that's in the woods and technically it belongs to Mrs. Curry. Everything else in the house, indoors, belongs to my parents. I take Pedro outside to the swing set, even though I'm too old for it. He shivers. "Come on, little guy," I say. "You're from New Hampshire. You can handle it." The truth is, I don't know if Pedro was born here. Maybe he was born in Bermuda and got shipped here. This is my home, where I started. I was born at Derry Hospital outside of Nashua, 3 days before Carrig Burkus. Sometimes, when he's kicking my ass, I think about how we were in the hospital at the same time. I picture us as newborns in nearby cribs. I see our dads waving at us. We were equals, in a way. Back then you probably couldn't tell us apart. But now we're opposite. Carrig is a jock, one of those guys with buddies. His life is keg parties and girls. He cracks a joke and everyone laughs, and he knows how to speak to people, how to get to them. Last month his picture was in the window at Rolling Jack's, the sports store in the mall. He was Athlete of the Month. I'm not anything of the month. Chloe laughed when I said that to her. "That's a good thing," she said. "The worst thing you can do is peak in middle school." She always says the right thing, the nice thing. I can picture her photo and her name up at another store. Person of the Month. I'd never say that, though. I know that much. Tomorrow we go back to school, which means seeing her again. Chloe smells like cookies. That's what I call her in my head. Every time my mom makes cookies, no matter what they are, oatmeal raisin or chocolate chip or caramel, they smell like Chloe. Chloe smells like cookies doesn't make fun of me. She sits with me at lunch, even though the other girls laugh at her and the other guys tell her she is wasting her time on a faggot. Chloe hates that word. She says after high school she's going to live in New York City where nobody uses that word. She thinks the people in our school have small brains and small hearts. She says New York is like Sesame Street for grown-ups. Everyone has big hearts, and you can be anything you want to be. She was there for Thanksgiving this week. Her parents took her to see the parade. She saw all the floats when they were shriveled and flat on the ground. We've been texting a lot all week. She says, I'd love New York. It's so much bigger than New Hampshire, even though it's smaller, you know? I get it, Chloe. I wish I was there. Of course you do. You always get it. My mom yells, "Dinner!" I write back fast, "See you tomorrow." She sends me a smiley face. That's code for, "Me too, Jon." The house smells like spaghetti and broccoli, and my mom asks if I left Pedro outside, and I tell her I did, even though he's in my pocket. My dad picks up the broccoli and puts it in the microwave. "What are you doing?" my mom asks. "It's cooked just fine." "I can't stand that smell," he says. "It's good for you, that smell." My dad grunts. He's a burly guy who does drywall and plays pool. A lot of the guys around here think he's weird because he has a Scottish accent. I sneak bits of spaghetti into my pocket. I almost get away with it, but Pedro nips at my finger and I yelp and my mom slams her fork down. These damn schools! What the hell is there to be learned from taking a rat home at your age? Aren't you a little old for this nonsense? We're mentoring a class at the elementary school, I tell her. None of the kids in 3rd grade could take him, so I volunteered. My parents look sad. Like all this time they thought Pedro was here because he had to be here, not because I wanted him. A lot of people have pets, I say. Carrick Burkus has a dog. I shouldn't have said his name. They know I'm not friends with Carrick Burkus anymore. The last time he invited me to a birthday party was in 4th grade, when people still had parties with invitations, when your mom made you invite every kid. It was a Batman invitation, so I showed up in my Spider-Man outfit, but everybody else was in normal clothes. Sometimes I feel bad for my parents, like they'd do better with one of the other babies from that day. The kind who plays sports and wears the right clothes to a stupid party. I look at my mom, right at her, like you do when you want something. He's a clean animal, I say. I promise he will stay in my room. My mom cuts her spaghetti. She doesn't roll it around her fork like people in New York do on TV. Her name is Penny, and she's from New Hampshire, so she talks the way people here talk, and she grew up on a farm where the animals stay outside. It's your room, she says. You want to live in a disgusting pigsty and let animals poop about your things. That's your business. Just don't go coming to me to clean up. On the way upstairs, I sneak a box of Oreos out of the cupboard. My dad is talking to my mom about the Patriots and the Super Bowl, and my mom is talking about Giselle and how beautiful she is. They speak the same language, only different. What comes out of my mom's mouth never affects what comes out of my dad's mouth. I think Chloe and I are better at talking. What Chloe says always affects what I say. Upstairs, I put Pedro on my bed and bring an Oreo up to my nose and inhale. But Chloe smells like homemade cookies. I take out today's Nashua Telegraph and reread Pedro the headlines from this morning. Today is Sunday, the biggest paper of the week. I can't read the whole thing to Pedro, but I do my best. We make it to Section C, Lifestyles, and I think he likes it. I love news. It reminds you that there's a whole world out there. A world of people who have never even heard of Carrick Burkus. Every day is new. Every paper, every story. In a book or a movie, you only get one story, but in a newspaper, you get happy stories, sad stories, stories that you can't understand about mortgages, scary stories about robberies, meth heads, that kid who got kidnapped in Dover.